Hey kids, good night I guess. So, been looking for videos on how to turn off your running lights. This is the night lights, but running lights. So basically, for whatever the reason, when let me just close this. When the emergency brake is lightly applied so that the switch, the sensor it has, gets triggered, for whatever the reason, it'll shut off the front lights. It'll make everything manual, just like if you were to hit this button 4 times. You can find that in other videos, but basically you hit it 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, you got manual. You got lights here, but no lights anywhere else. Hit the button 4 times again, and you got automatic lights that rely on the photo sensor or the ambient light sensor. Anyway, for whatever reason, close that. When you lightly press, when you lightly press the emergency brake or the parking brake, whichever, same thing, turn your car off and turn it back on, and from there on out it's only manual now. No, let me throw it on drive, no lights. Reverse, no lights. Just everything turns manual until you, let me switch hands here. We all know what this is. If you own a Blazer, you know what this is. You pull it, now you got lights. The thing resets. And for whatever the reason, when you press the parking brake and you turn your car on for after having lightly pressed so that it triggers the sensor, all the lights will turn into manual. I don't know why. I honestly don't care to know why. I just know that if I press it just to the first thing, to the first click, if you will, turn it off, turn it back on. Oh, made me a liar. Let me push it a little more. Oh. And everything is manual now. Now, I push it just enough not to actually engage the parking brake, but enough to engage the trigger, the sensor, and manual lights. So if you wanted to have your running, I guess your daylight driving nights off all the time, that's the way to do it. As long as you know you haven't engaged the brake. Otherwise you're gonna have hidden in your rear brakes, and that's a whole nother can of worms. So do this at your own risk, and have fun out there. Well, I came in the house and I was just thinking, if you really wanted to have your cake and eat it too, you could, in theory, find a way to trigger that sensor without necessarily pressing the brake. You could either find, if it's a pressure sensor, find a way to press it, or a position sensor. I honestly haven't looked at it because I haven't had any use for it, but find a way to trigger it by some mechanical means. It could be a tension sensor, I don't know. Trigger it without having the parking brake pressed necessarily, and that way you wouldn't run the risk of overheating the brakes. The only thing that you could run into is just having the red light that tells you that your parking brake is engaged. But as we know, a lot of Blazers have a defect on the electronics that have those two lights, the ABS and parking brake lights, on all the time. I gotta get around to that. It's gonna be a little while before I do that, but food for thought. Also, homemade. Yeah, some good stuff. All right, y'all be good.